Hello, welcome to another weekly video. Today I'm going to be talking about is there one person for everybody? Um, I remember when I was younger, um I used to not really know what was going to happen in my life, and I guess I was under the impression that like there was um there was one person for everybody, and I had heard a lot of people talk about how they had fallen in love with somebody and they just never gotten over them, and some, I don't know if it's necessarily a movie thing, but I think I'd also heard people say that they had fallen in love with somebody, and um they never met anybody that compared to that, and they just were always stuck on this one person. So I mean, I guess you can disregard this video if you've been married for 40 and 50 years and you think that you're going to be with that person until you pass away. But I mean, nothing is really set in stone. I'll give you an example. My stepdad was married for, I think, 40 years. And when he was 60 years old, his wife got cancer and she passed away. And I mean, um, well, me and um my mother and my sister knew my stepdad. We were all in the same church, and um and when I looked at them, I thought that they would be together forever. And a lot of people, it does work out, and and you stay together for until you pass away. But chances are somebody may pass away before the other, and things happen. But anyway, my stepdad lost his wife at 60 years old, and he got remarried to my mother, and they've been together now, I think about 30 years, something like that. But um, my point is, even people that have been married a long time, sometimes you lose that person and you still end up um, having to find somebody else. So so I guess I'm really trying to talk to people in a situation where, you know, um, you don't know if you can find somebody else. You don't know what the future's like. I'll give an example of what happened to me. For for a long time, one of the first guys I ever dated seriously, I dated for about 5 years, and I just remember hearing all these stories, including my own parents, not not being able to get over your first love, and your first love is the best and all that. And I just remember feeling very afraid to move on because I was worried that I was only gonna love this one person and nothing else could ever compare. Um, and I just remember almost kind of stuck in the relationship because of that. And unfortunately, it was abusive. It wasn't healthy. So, um, excuse me. Um, it was something that I needed to walk away from, but I was too afraid. So, um, I remember even getting to the point of asking the guy I was dating um, to try to get married because I didn't feel like we were ever going to find anybody that we could love again or love differently or anything like that. So, um, I was just under this impression that like there was just one person for everybody. And I don't want to make it sound like it's, there's five people for everybody. It's not like that either. But I don't want anybody to have to go through what I went through, which was kind of getting stuck on one person when um God can give you a different person and may have a different plan for you than what you expect. Um my parents are a good example. My biological father and my mother, um, they were married in college, or I can't remember if it was college or high school, but they were married for about 20 years, and he was on drugs, and um she had been abused, so she was kind of abusive towards him, verbally and physically, and so they really were kind of um destructive towards each other, and it was a destructive relationship. So I mean, they did great to make it at 20 years, but they just couldn't make it any farther, so they got divorced, and both moved on to other people. I think my dad was more not wanting the divorce, and he signed the divorce papers, but he talked about how much he didn't want the divorce, and my mother did want the divorce, so she kind of pushed him away for a long time, and I don't even think she would speak to him hardly, and they both married other people, and and it may have looked, I guess, like they moved on, but um, they had children together, so they would keep communication, for me and my sister to go visit my dad. That's pretty much how the communication went for a long time. And then there seemed to be a point where the communication wasn't really as, um, I say angry. I'm trying to think of a better word. Um, it wasn't just about, can I come, can I bring you the kids or anything, or swapping kids. The conversation didn't really look like that anymore. Um, it started to become different. Like they had, I guess, formed. I don't want to say a friendship. I'm not sure if I would go that far, but like, I just remember, my dad's mother died, and my mother decided to come to the funeral, and um, I guess it was kind of at that point where things had changed, and they started talking more regularly, and my dad's with somebody else, and my mother's married to somebody else, but um, they just continued to talk, and I mean, some of it was still, because my sister was on drugs, they sometimes had to communicate because they would talk about putting her in rehab and stuff like that. But I just saw more and more where it was just, reaching out for, like, maybe there was a reason, but like there was more conversation about, like, how are you doing, and more friendly types of conversation happened more and more, and to the point where, like, um you know I think when I got married, which was a few years ago, they got back together, and you could just tell they had like a chemistry between them, and and like, I don't think either one has actually said this, but um you can tell they just haven't gotten over each other, and I don't know if you're able to really talk to them about it, if they would say, oh, that was my first love, and I haven't found anything since, and nothing compares to it. Like, what, I mean, would they say that kind of thing? But my point is, they just never got over each other. So that was kind of one of my examples. That's probably why I had fear of, moving on from one of my relationships. But like, mainly just want to make sure that, like, people don't sit there and think that they have to stay in a bad relationship, or if you've got, or if somebody has left you, or if you've gotten out of a relationship, that you can't find somebody else. God can always send you somebody else. Unfortunately, you may end up waiting a long time. After I got out of a relationship with my um the the guy I mentioned who was abusive, it it was quite a long time before I met somebody else that I was able to date seriously again. And I guess that's how I would describe God. Like, he'll send you somebody else, but you do have to wait a while. So um I hate to be like, you kind of have to be patient, but that's just kind of how it is, unfortunately. So, um, I mean, I know I'm talking about, the plans that God has for you, but I feel like a lot of this, is just um trying to help people not be in the position that I was in growing up, because it was really it was really a bad feeling to feel like you were stuck somewhere because you were afraid that you could never find somebody else that makes you as happy. Because I was able to find somebody even better than the person I was with, but you know, you just can't let what other people say dictate the things that you're going to go through, or the decision that you're going to make. So, um, I guess that's the main thing I wanted to say, and I hope you enjoyed the video and have a nice day.